Hello, everybody, and welcome to my basic guide to Dark Souls 3. In this series, I will be doing kind of a beginner's guide on how to beat what is considered to be one of the hardest games of all time. I consider myself a veteran and probably not the person who should be talking about this type of stuff, but I, I think I'm good enough to be able to give basic beginner's tips. So let's get right into this. I need to edit my audio because I forgot to do that before the stream. So let's go to system. So actually, what I'll start this series with is what I use. So these are the controls that I use through my gameplays. I usually just have this stuff as default. I am going to turn this up. I'll put them all to 3. That's just like good, I think. Let's turn that up. There it goes. Obviously I have HUD on, but you can turn it off, and then like you can make cinematic stuff, subtitles, you know what that is, and blood, you know. I have my brightness at the bottom because you're supposed to have them drag it invisible, but you can clearly still see it. I have matchmaking on. I can probably turn that off. My mouse sensitivity is 0. This game does not like controller, even though it's made for controller, so I have mouse sensitivity at 0. And then this is just these settings. I will be playing with a controller, however, I will be showing in this series how to use keyboard. But let's get right into this.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
And now we create our character. So for this run, I'm just gonna name it tutorial because I have so many saves. I never remember what one I use. So we have many different starting classes. If you want to be a knight, you obviously can use knight. Mercenary is kind of like knight, but you have kind of more of a mix of everything. Warrior is just really just a stupid brute. Herald is is about like the knight, but you have more faith, less intel. Thief, I mean, you can guess what this is. You got dexterity, you don't really have anything else. Assassin, much like the thief, is like the depraved and the thief combined, where you have a lot of dexterity, but you kind of have an even mix of everything, along with attunement. Sorcerer, if you want to do a mage build, this is what you choose. Pyromancer, you want to do a pyromancy build, this is what you choose. Cleric, you want to do a miracle build, this is what you choose. Depraved. Depraved is the soul level 1 of this game. It is, you are the lowest level, you have 10 in every stat, you're just a basic, you're just a basic person. As simple as that. In this run, I will be kind of doing what I believe to be the best fit for a beginner. Well, I always choose Depraved, and that's because I am experienced with this game. In this run, I'll be choosing Knight, because it's what I believe a lot of people will choose on their first run. It's also what I believe to be one of the strongest. If I was really going to choose one that I would consider to be the strongest, I would choose the Mercenary, just because of what you start with. But I will be choosing the Knight in this run, because that's what I believe the most people will choose. Now we have a Burial Gift. This is what you start with. You got a Life Ring, which increases max HP. You got a Divine Blessing, which is just a full heal, but you only get to use it once. Hidden Blessing will restore FP. That's basically a full heal, but for sorcerers, or pyromancers, or faith builds. Black Fire Bomb, which is a bomb that's a lot of damage. Fire Gem, this will let you put this on your weapon and give it fire damage. We will go over scaling later. Sovereignless Soul, this will give you money. Souls are money in this game. Rusting Gold Coin, this increases item discovery for a short time, so if you were to need souls or you need a specific item, you would want to crush one of these, and then that will give you a higher chance of it dropping something. The reason I say if you need souls, you don't get more souls with this, you need a different ring, which I'll show you later, but you can get better items with this that you can sell with one of the merchants in the game. Collector of the Eye Orb, this is to invade another world with a Dark Spirit. We won't really be going into that. I'll do a brief overview of it when we get to that point. And the Young Light Branch allows you to blend into the environment. Let's say you are in a forested area, you'll appear as a tree. Or not a tree, but like something like a tree. In this run, I personally believe the Sovereignless Soul is the best option. The Life Ring, well, it initially sounds like the best option, it doesn't increase it by much, because there's better Life Rings later on in the game. Now in this run, but I'll go into that at the very end of the playthrough, the Divine Blessing is a one-time use. I personally don't like consumables like this, because then I just never use them. Black Fire Bomb is great for the first boss, but that's all it is. It's good for the first boss. It will get something else that will also help you on the way there. Fire Gem is good, but for reasons I'll explain later, it is probably not what we want. Sovereignless Soul is what I'm going to personally go with. It's good, and the rest are consumables. Um, and then, I mean, we have the defaults for character creation. We can kind of go into whatever we want. We can change our, like, no. And then we can, change all of these, physique, build detail, basic skin color, or basic skin color. Face detail, this will include, anything you want to do to your face. And then you can save the favorites, and you can load the favorite. As you can see, I have a couple. But there's a lot of tutorials online where you can get, you can kind of copy what they're doing. Let's get right into it. So, as I chose the night build, the first thing I'm going to teach you is rolling. So, if I roll, that gives you iframes. You have a moment of invincibility where you can dash past enemies or you can dodge to attacks. However, there is this thing in the top right called the equip load and the weight ratio. We do not want it to be this high. So, if it gets too high, that affects your rolling. So what I'm personally going to do is I'm going to take off my helmet and my legs. That brought my equip load, or my weight ratio, from 60% to 39. Now, look at this. I'm much faster. That's good. I'm also going to quickly go over controls. So, oops, that's not what I want to do. So if I go over the key bindings. So the controls for controller, we have, the normal walk, run, and whatnot. For controller, if you want to walk, you just hold it, press, as you can see in the background. However, if you want to walk with the keyboard, you have to hold left alt. That's all basic. And then dash, backstep, and roll are all the same button. So, on the controller, it's B. To dash, you hold it. To backstep, you press it. And to roll, you press it while holding forward. So, oh, that's not what I did. And on keyboard, it's space. With the jump, you just push in the left joystick on controller, or on keyboard, you just tap the spacebar after you use it. Camera controls are normal. Switching spells will either be the wheel on your mouse, the arrows on your keyboard, or the D-pad on your controller. Attacking, it's pretty normal. So obviously you don't use your keyboard unless you wanna. Mouse is left click. Strong attack is shift plus left click. Strong attack with your, attack with your left hand is right click. Strong attack with your left hand is right click. Your main hand is your left hand in this game, or your right hand in this game. Right bumper, right trigger, left bumper, left trigger. Using item is X or R, depending on what you're using. Interact is A or E. Two-hand weapon is Y or F. We'll go over that shortly. And then finally, opening your menu, it's, what you would expect. I'll just quickly scroll through them all. You can look at them if you need to. So, yeah. Obviously, I have a shield in my left hand, my sword in my right. So, I'm going to hit this guy. So I'm going to hit this guy. And I did 73 damage. If I go to my stats and I look at right weapon 1, you see that my attack damage is currently 124. If I two-hand it with Y, or F if you're using, you'll notice that my attack damage went up to 130. Because your two-handing will sometimes give you more damage. We'll also go into that more in detail later. So I want to run back here and get the soul into the Eclipse. That is not that many souls, however we still want it for later. Just kind of out of the way. So, real quick, we're gonna attack this guy. Kill him quickly. And you'll notice how I did 84 damage to him that time. That wasn't because he was sitting, that's because now I'm two-handing. I'm going to sneak up on this guy, because he's on a wall. I'm going to sneak up on him, and I'm going to get backstab. That did 211 damage. And all I did was walk up behind him while he was crying on a wall, and I did it. This area back here, I'll show you, but I do not recommend going back here for a beginner. So I only have to roll to get through this area. You can walk, but it's not fast. So I kind of sneak up here. You see an item over there, but we also have the big eyesore in the room. This motherfricker. This is a Ravenous crystal lizard. The first really strong enemy you'll find in the game. Notice how I just did 156 damage to him, and it did barely anything. I also just did a strong attack with right trigger. Ooh, can I get a riposte here? Nope, I missed the riposte. So right there, I staggered him. I could have riposted for very heavy, strong damage, but I missed it. It took too long to get to him. Now this is a pretty hard enemy to beat, even for a veteran such as myself. So I do not recommend a beginner try this, especially like I just greeted there. Like I would put attack that I shouldn't have. Had I gotten the riposte earlier, he would be way close to the death right now. Yeah, I greeted again there, as you saw. I just would put another attack I shouldn't have. Oh, here we go. Yep, there we go. I got a riposte. So I staggered him, and then I stabbed him in the head for super heavy damage. I gotta tell you that skill. That's a very good item that you can use on boss weapons. But you also notice how I am on the brink of death after that, and I played this game a lot. However, he did give me a very valuable item and 4,000 souls. Or not 4,000. I think he gave like 3,000. Or maybe it was 4,000. I don't know. And it was, no, in here. And now, because I am so close to death, I don't really want to deal with this guy, but I'm going to, because I don't want him shooting me. However, you'll notice how I'm not too concerned, because right beyond this gorgeous view, over there you can see an area that we'll be going to later, the mountainous area there, and the area we'll be ending this video, right over there. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. Oops. Crap. Where will I close this? Oops. What? There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. So right here, I have a bonfire. This is your checkpoint in this game. Right now, we just got to just a rest. I cannot show you because I actually have a mod loaded that I forgot to unload for this video. I'll unload it for the next video. You will most likely not see this. This is a mod that I forgot to take off. You'll also notice that I have a texture mod. I forgot to mention that. So I installed a texture mod. This game is probably looking quite different to you. I just have a texture mod that's very saturated. If you'd like, I could do a video on how to install mods as well. But yeah, let's just run down here. So, for starters, I'm going to circle around this guy and get a backstab on him. I'm not going to go down there quite yet, because if I run up here, hit left joystick, or L3, I jumped, and now I can get this Titanite shard. Titanite shards are a valuable item early game that allow you to upgrade weapons. We'll also go over that in a bit here. So I'm going to circle around this guy, get a backstab on him. Right over here. So you'll notice that there is an item down there that I want, but there's a guy in the way. So I came around the back. You can see you can go around that way. But because I came around the back, I can jump off this ledge, hit R1, and I can drop attack him. Now I did have to change my position midair, but I just simply had to move the joystick for that. I did get hit there, so I'm going to go run back to the bonfire for reasons you will see shortly. Now, I usually don't recommend fighting all the enemies here. I'm just doing it for walkthrough reasons. I do not recommend it. Now, that guy actually survived a hit. You haven't seen that yet. An enemy surviving a hit, you know, you just hit it a second time, it dies. Now, I have a lot of souls. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can currently do to store these souls. Now, you'll notice I haven't used my Summoner Soul yet, or as it's called here, a Soul of an Ancient Soldier. Also, I rested the bonfire. All the enemies respawn. That's a very key point. If you played Bloodborne only before this, that's something you would not know. Because Bloodborne, you go to a lamp and you gotta go back to the Hunter's Dream and then they respawn. Oh, actually, I just realized I drop attacked him earlier, didn't I? Oops. I'm gonna just backstab this guy. And now, anybody who's played a video game ever knows what this room is. That right there is the first boss of the game, Udex Gundyr. He is the first boss of the game. Now, to a beginner, he'll be very difficult. I am going to try and show you the way that I showed my friend when I taught him how to play this game, how to beat this boss easily. So, what I'm going to first do is I'm going to go down here. I'm going to deselect both of these, so that I only have my Estus down there, and I don't have to flick through all of them. Because I'm not a mage build, and I don't need that. I'm going to grab fire bombs. And now I hit the bottom down D-pad, or arrow key, or scroll wheel down, and you can see I now can flip through them. But we aren't going to use those quite yet. So we go up to him, move the sword, and here we go. Now, for starters, we want to get some cheap shots on him. You can only get this the first attempt. After this attempt, he will not start down. So he has some thrust attacks that can easily be avoided. I'm going to go through a hit here. He punched me there, easily won't pass it. You'll notice I'm doing a good amount of damage. I'm going to go for an R2 here. Avoid that. Now, I knew that I could go for the R2 there. Now, you'll notice, okay, he's already second phase. I got him to half health, his second phase. Now, I start chucking the fire bombs. This phase is weak to fire bombs. You'll notice I staggered him there. I do more damage while he's staggered. I'm going to avoid this by rolling back. I'm going to chuck another fire bomb. I'm out. So now, we go into him. And now, easy. Now, I'm going to explain what I just did there. Because, to you, that was really fast. It ended so fast. I got hit once. So what happened there is I circled him. I stayed right in him. I stayed right on his hip. And every time he went for a hit, I tapped B, I rolled. I didn't roll into him. I rolled to the side of him. Some attacks you do want to roll into, but for him, I rolled to the side of him. Because most of his attacks go forward. And then, after I hit him a bunch, he went phase 2. The phase 2 is that giant rat. It's called the Possum Man. That was a very big range attack, but what I did was I used fire bombs. It is horribly weak to fire bombs, but he also had not been staggered yet. So, I staggered him instantly with the fire bomb, and then with staggers, you do more damage. But he's already weak to fire bombs. What I also could have done is I could have hit him a few times in that phase, and then started chucking fire bombs, and I would have gotten more use out of them. And then, when he went for that big swipe with his rat face, I rolled away from him. You can also get into him, but that's more risky for a beginner. But since I was already far away throwing fire bombs, it was easy to do. And then when he jumped, I rolled into him. I didn't get hit, but I didn't get hit for a lot. And then I did the last few swipes. It takes a while to get your head around. I get it. And I know it could be a little bit fast. I do recommend, if I'm going too fast, this video can also be played at times 0.25 speed. So, yeah. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. I know. And I probably did go a bit too fast there. So, we come out here. This is the Firelink Shrine. I can grab this item here. That's the Broken Straight Sword. It's not a great weapon, but it's a weapon. Some guys over here guarding this item. That guy has a spear. We do not like spears. And he also has a shield. Run back here and get this item. Now we can run back over here. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to go spend these souls. Because I have a lot. And they are, you know, not exactly easy to get at this point of the game. So, let's just go right inside. The Firelink Shrine.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a Firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
Alright, so we can level up with the Firekeeper right here. And now we can use all of our 7,396 souls. So what I'm going to do, and this might be what you do, it might not be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Vigor up. We have a lot in what is considered one of the worst stats. Now I'm going to go through the stats real quick. Vigor, health, attunement, the amount of spells you can have equipped. Endurance is the amount you can run or dash, or whatever, hit before not being able to anymore. Vitality is equip load and defense. Not great. Strength, you know, it's your strength. However, we will not be upgrading this yet. I'll show you why later. So, I'm going to bring up my dex a little bit, because dex is good. And intel is the strength of your weapons, how much FP you have. Faith, I'll show you. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. It just allows you to use spells better. There is intel and faith requirements as long as strength and dex requirements on some weapons. Then luck is item discovery. So we're gonna go with that for now. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my sword. So right down here we have the attribute bonuses and attribute requirements. So the attribute requirements is the base amount that you need. So to use this longsword, I need 10 strength and 10 dexterity. I have that. However, the attribute bonus, that is weapon scaling. So this weapon scales with strength and dex. It doesn't scale well, it goes from D to S. So this is the worst scaling you can get on something. So on this longsword, we have D scaling on strength and dex. So the higher our strength and our dex is, the stronger the sword will be. However, this broken straight sword, well, it's the same with the attribute bonuses. It does have a little bit less requirement. This shield, you'll notice, doesn't have a dex bonus. It only has a strength bonus. So this will guard better, or bash better, because you can also bash with shields in this game, if you have strength. So let's go over here and talk to Andre the Blacksmith.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose.
Alright, so immediately we can reinforce our weapons. To upgrade this longsword, we need 2 Titanite shards. We got a Titanite shard earlier, however we need 1 more to upgrade it. Fuse weapons, this will change your scaling. So, a refined gem would bring me to D to C strength and dex scaling. The raw gem removes scaling. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. Well, it will initially bring your damage up because you don't have to have those attributes. Later on in the game, your attack damage will be lower. Your AR is what we call it. And then the fire gem will also negate the attribute bonus, but you'll get fire damage. So we go from 110 damage to 93 damage. However, now we have fire damage. That last boss was weak to fire. We also lose all of our guard absorption with this weapon. But you hardly have a guard with weapons. I'll actually show you that real quick. I actually forgot to. So, if I'm two-handing and I LB, I get a guard. This will negate some damage. Pair equipment, you literally never use this. It is literally impossible to need this. A lot as this allows me to give myself more Ashen Flasks or more Estus Flasks. In this case, we don't need any Ashen Flasks, so we're going to give ourselves 4 Estus Flasks. Reinforced Estus Flask requires an Estus shard. Let's go get one of those. Well, we'll get one shortly. First, I want to show you the merchant in this area.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont, no?
So here we can purchase and sell items. Obviously, sell items. I'm going to sell all of these, because they're literally just souls. So, we can sell them. Titanite shards, Titanite scales, we'll hold on to these for now. Illusionary shards has for literally 3 souls. Maybe we don't sell that. Now we don't need the knight helmet, or the knight leggings. Or if you have them all on, I won't sell these in case you are deciding to use all of them. But purchasing the items is what we're here for. So in Ember, this will boost HP until you die. It boosts it by a lot, but you also get these from bosses. You'll notice how my HP went up after the last boss. You can also buy Homeward Bones. This will allow you to return to the last bonfire rested at, or you can teleport directly to the shrine. White Soapstone allows you to do co-op. Dried Finger, you can, I believe, I'll edit this in the, I'll change this in editing if I did this wrong, but I believe this, actually I don't know what this is off the top of my head. I'm just gonna have myself, I'm playing, okay, yeah. I believe, yes, you can summon a 3rd Phantom with this. Solo, it's a spell. Fair Dart, it's also a spell. Healing is a miracle. We got a dagger, short sword, scimitar. You'll notice how the scaling on all of these is different down there, but they're all strength and dex scaling. This staff is intelligence scaling, and it has E scaling, strength. I actually was wrong earlier. It goes from E to S, not D to S. But this has B intel scaling. That's the best we've seen so far. The torch, you know, it lights you away. It has some damage. You're probably not going to use it. Shields, you can parry all of them, except this one can parry. I'll show you that in a minute. Better armor if you show this deprived, and bolts for arrows and, well, arrows for bows, bolts for crossbows. So I'm gonna undo-hand this, and now I have my shield. I can hold it up, I can also parry with it. I didn't show you that in the fight with the first boss, because I didn't think that was a great idea. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here, and I'm gonna show you a little trick. So if I go out here, past this giant, it's a dead giant, I can grab this item. There's a door here. It's currently locked. The Shrine Maiden sells the key for that for 20,000 souls, so we're not going to really worry about that yet. Now we're going to go to this tree. We're going to run at it, and we're going to hit L3. And we're going to jump up here. That is usually a very difficult jump, but I've gotten so used to it that I can do it quite easily. It might take a few attempts. Don't worry yourself if it takes too many. Now we're going to run over here. Way over here. We're going to get some early items. Now you notice there's a guy down there. He already wants to attack me. We'll deal with him later. Well, we won't worry about him quite yet. So run over here. He's not happy. And back here, we encounter a crystal lizard. These guys are 2 shots with this and will drop a item. Usually it's a twinkling titanite, but sometimes it'll be a different type of upgrade item. They're scarce, however, what I tend to do, they'll run away, and if you don't kill them in time, they won't disappear. What I tend to do, in times when I can't get it immediately, is I'll just quit out the game and they will respawn. Now if I run back here, way back here, there's a door here. Now this here is a trader. They will trade certain items for other items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave one of these. What? Oh. Leave. Yes. I also got a gesture for doing this. But I also got iron bracelets. That is a item that I can equip here. It is much worse than what I'm currently wearing, so I'm not going to wear it. But it is also lighter by 0.6. Now, yes, this traded, but some things will not. So if I dropped... I can't read that. If I dropped the broken straight sword... We make her very sad and she gives us her broken straight sword back. Now, there's also this item that you probably saw earlier, but wonder what it is. An Estus Shard. One of the best early game items we can get. Is that all that's here? It does appear. That's all that's here. However, this is where I will introduce you to a concept. I didn't know that happened. So I'm going to introduce you to a concept called Illusionary Walls. So at first glance, this is a wall, right? But if I roll or attack it, it disappears. And now if I run back here, drop down, there's a chest with a ring, and a very good ring. This ring will allow us to get more souls dropped from every enemy we defeat. Which is why I've saved this last guy for last. However, let's go over here. And let's embed the coiled sword that was dropped from Udex. And now we can teleport. And now we can rest. Here we go. Let's run back up here though. We have one last thing to do in the shrine before we end. Oh, actually we have a couple more things. So first and foremost, I want to kill these guys so they don't get in my way. Oh, you lived! So I want to run, well, over here real quick. This is a shield. East-west shield. But right here is the Swordmaster. Now yes, he is difficult to beat, and this is another enemy, much like the Ravenous crystal lizard we encountered earlier, that I do not recommend new players fight. However, I will be fighting him to show you what happens if you do. Now he's gonna parry me. Ooh, I died very easily to him. I did not fight him well at all. But now I can show you what happens when you die. So because I died, you'll first and foremost notice that I lost my ember. So I'm no longer embered. Which is not good for an enemy like this. And now we wait, because the area does not load immediately. Because if you want to go out, you gotta wait a second, and then I just coincidentally was able to leave there. Sometimes it does not let you though. So easily. Now, we do not want to die, because we will lose our souls if we die. Got that fading soul. So if I run up here, you'll notice this green light here. If I grab that, I get my souls back. It's very helpful. Ow! I'm gonna heal that. Okay, I parried them. So I got a free, strong attack, and I'm gonna R2 him for another 150. I'm gonna fall back and heal, and I'm just gonna start wailing on him. And there we go, I knocked him off the edge. So he's dead. This is how I recommend most people kill him. And I'm gonna quit out, and if we go up here, look at that. This item was not here before. That's the stuff he dropped. However, if you kill him normally without knocking him off the edge, then it'll just drop when he dies. So now let's go over here, quickly collect all of this stuff. Now I have a lot more souls than you'll have right now if you did not fight the Master or the Ravenous Crystal Lizard. But if you did, this is about where you'll be right now. Now over here, we're going to encounter the most annoying enemy in the game. Dogs. I killed that one easily. Later in the game, they can teleport. The reason they can teleport is because the game will unload them if your camera goes off of them. But they move super fast, so your camera will almost always go off of them. The game will unload them, and then the game will load them again. It's a weird bug in the game that makes them teleport. It's not great. So let's go level up with the Firekeeper. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to get my strength up, because I can, because I have the scaling. Now, we don't have much endurance, so I'm going to give myself 1 point of endurance there. So if I run over here, remember we got that Estus shot earlier. We should have done this before we fought the Swordmaster, but it's fine. So I go to reinforce Estus Flask, and now I go over here and rest. And I'll have 5 Estus Flasks. Just like that. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of my beginner's guide to Dark Souls 3. If you want to see more, let me know. If you have any suggestions or things that you want to see that did not cover in this video, also let me know. And I'll talk about them in the next video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!